It has been a very busy week for one Eric DeCosta, and for good reason. The start to the 2025 season for the Baltimore Ravens has been an absolute nightmare start, okay? I can guarantee you, if you asked him back in April if he expected this team to be 1-4, he would have put every dime he had that they wouldn't be. But here you are. Something's got to happen. Something's got to change. He's been trying to make changes all week. Signed CJ Gardner-Johnson. That happened yesterday, earlier in the day. And then a couple hours later, he made a trade that we really did not see coming, sending Odafe Oweh to the Los Angeles Chargers. Of course, you get the safety in return. You get a 5th-round pick in return, and you give them a 7th-rounder that was not even yours. Technically, it was owned by the Los Angeles Rams. I liked that trade at the time. I love these moves that he's making. I think C.J. Gardner-Johnson can bring a little bit of a fire, bring a little bit of that dog attitude that we feel like this team is missing right now. And I think that, Odafe Oweh, he wasn't really playing up to the level we all expected him to be. But my second thought, with that move from yesterday, with the trade, with the signing, and with adding Oweh and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, it might not be over, ladies and gentlemen. Just because he's made a couple moves doesn't mean he's done and sitting on his hands until the trade deadline. Don't believe me? Let's hear it from Jeff Strayback. This was right after the moves went down yesterday. He said, I have to think that DeCosta has something else up his sleeve with cap savings from moving on from Odafe Oweh. Pass rush has been a major issue this year, and while Oweh has struggled, trading him leaves them with an edge rush group of Van Noy, Robinson, Green, Ajabo. They need more. That's your insider for the Baltimore Ravens, writes for The Athletic, and John Harbaugh basically confirmed what he was speculating. Harbaugh said that he believes DeCosta will continue to have discussions about adding a pass rusher ahead of the trade deadline. So there you got it. It's all but confirmed right there. The Baltimore Ravens are not done making moves. And the reason we're all thinking that is because they saved some cap space with that Oweh deal. $8 million to be exact. And you added in Oweh, who's just going to be like a $1 million charge to you. So in reality, that's a $7 million difference right there. They didn't just do that to save it. They didn't just do that to invest it, right? They didn't just do that to put it into Amazon. They did that to get some usage out of it. And more importantly, in my opinion, it saved you a possible future contract. I think that was something that's been looming over Baltimore since the end of Odafe Oweh's 10-sack season. With Kyle Hamilton do, with Lamar Jackson possibly do, with Derrick Henry do. They got a lot of those moves done. They got a lot of those deals done over the last couple of months. Odafe Oweh was one they said, man, we got to get that done at some point. Well, not anymore. So now, because of the cap savings, could a big move be coming? That's exactly what we're talking about on today's show. Because there are some big holes to fill with Nnamdi Madubuike's departure, with him being sent to IR. There's some big holes to fill with Odafe Oweh's departure. Even though he wasn't playing up to the level this year that he was last year, that does not mean that you still don't have, the horses that you'd want to have in that position group. Because you don't. Your edge rushers right now, like Jeff Strayback pointed out earlier, Kyle Van Noy, 12th year in the National Football League. Mike Green, 12th day in the National Football League. David Ajabo, a lot of people were surprised he ended up making this roster. And Tavius Robinson, who's a good player. But do we trust any of these guys truly to be consistent with their pressure and getting the quarterback at a down-to-down basis? I'm going to tell you on the rest of today's show 3 players that I think Baltimore might be interested in trading for over the next couple of weeks. Do not go anywhere. Before that, though, we're getting close to our next milestone, 38,500 subscribers. We are 122 subs away. If you guys have not yet, subscribe to this channel. Help me out. Do that right now. It does not cost you a dime. About 60% of our viewers aren't even subscribed. So if you think you are, make sure to check. And if you're not, one click, you're done. That's all it takes. So we know this possible trade might be expensive, right? It might be a lot to trade for some players. It's going to cost you a lot of money. But I think it's worth it, right? And also, the Ravens currently have 5 fifth-round picks. Yeah, you read that right. They have the Chargers. They have their own. They have 2 compensatory draft picks coming from, I believe it's Patrick McCarry and Brandon Stevens. And then they have the one from the Jets in April. They got 5 fifth-rounders. So, yeah, it might be expensive to trade for some of these guys, but you got the draft picks to do it, and you also now, because of that Odafe Oweh deal, you have the money to do it. So let's talk about the biggest one first, okay? That's one Mr. Maxx Crosby. A guy we have not talked about in a very long time at the channel because, let's face it, there hasn't really been a reason to. Well, now there is, okay? My thoughts on Maxx Crosby, they're as follows. He should demand a trade. He needs to demand a trade. I feel like if any of us were in the shoes of Maxx Crosby, we would have done it years ago. Because the Raiders are an absolute joke. They are an absolute joke. And they have been for a very, very, very long time. And I'm sure he does not want to waste his career in Las Vegas because that's what he's been doing so far. I feel like even though we have a lot of opinions on Zach Orr, he could thrive in this scheme because Maxx Crosby is a guy who could thrive in any scheme. And the Ravens need a defensive end badly after the way they've started and now after the departure of Odafe Oweh, leaving them with the guys that they have. And so far, Maxx Crosby in 2025 has been a damn good football player. An overall grade of 84.6 PFF, run defense grade 78.6, pass rush 76.8, 2 sacks, 16 pressures, and 4 quarterback hits. Okay? Odafe Oweh, 0 sacks on the season. I get it. That number 2, it's not crazy, but you got to think, nobody else on that Raiders defensive line really is worth anything. So every single week, he's getting double teamed. He's getting triple teamed. All of their focus is on him. But no more about his play with Las Vegas. Let's talk about what it would mean to trade for him. You would have to part ways, in my opinion, with at least a first-round pick. And I know a lot of people are going to be upset about that, and they're going to say, A, don't do it, or B, there's no way that's what it would cost. You're wrong. It would. Las Vegas freaking loves Maxx Crosby. Everybody's favorite Raider, including Pete Carroll's, is Maxx Crosby. They are not letting him go for anything less than a first-rounder. But if Baltimore thinks that they can really still contend in the year of 2025, even though they've started this season 1-4, you have to make that call, man. You have to. If you still believe this team can win a Super Bowl with the way this roster is currently constructed and how you started this season, and you feel like you're one more piece away, and Maxx Crosby could be that piece, you got to do it, man. This Super Bowl window feels like it's closing this season. Big time. Name a player you think the Ravens should trade for in the comment section down below. Who do you think it should be? I've given you one, Maxx Crosby. I'm about to give you 2 more, but I want you to let me know in the comment section down below. Something I want to let you guys know about is if you download the PrizePicks app right now, use our code CLNS, you get $50 in lineups. Just straight from PrizePicks. Here you go. Here's $50 from us. All you got to do is play a $5 lineup. You and I make decisions every single day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. PrizePicks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Zay Flowers' receiving yards, catches, and touchdowns? Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on PrizePicks. Follow other PrizePicks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on PrizePicks. Here are my PrizePicks for Sunday's game against the Los Angeles Rams. I feel like Zay Flowers is going to be a common target, so give me more than 49.5 receiving yards. Derrick Henry, he's got to break out at some point. Give me more than 63.5 rushing yards. And you know what? With this Ravens defense, I'm just going to take the more on every quarterback that faces him every week. So give me the more, 247.5 pass yards from Matthew Stafford. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. All right, let's talk about our next player. How about Jeffery Simmons? I get it. This is a guy that we've talked about a decent bit over the last couple of weeks, really since these, Baltimore Ravens woes have been started, because Nnamdi's gone and you need help on the interior, and guess what? Jeffery Simmons could be that for you. He leads all defensive tackles in football in total pressures, 5th in the NFL. He leads all defensive tackles and tackles for loss with 6. That's 5th in the NFL. He leads the NFL in double team rate at 66%, which is his career high, and yet he still be able to lead the defensive tackles in pressures and tackles for loss. He also leads the NFL in pass rush win percentage at 31%. He's been an absolute freak. Easton Freeze, guy who covers the Tennessee Titans, NFL insider Jeffery Simmons generated a season-high 6 pressures and 1.5 sacks on 35 pass rushes against the Cardinals in Week 5. He was doubled on 37.1% of pass rushes, his lowest double team rate of the season, and he capitalized on that. 5 quick pressures in a game, tied for a career high. 37.1% of pass rushers being doubled, that's his lowest this season. And he still did what he was able to do. And that's still a pretty high number. He can stop the run, he can stop the pass, and he is a sure tackler. He is everything you could want. He is everything you could desire in an interior defensive lineman. And I think my favorite thing about him is he's an absolute dog. Sure, sometimes he does some shady stuff. Right? He spit on a player or two in his NFL career. Guess what? I don't care. At this point, give me somebody who's going to go out there and be a dog for me. Because you don't have that on your team. You got a lot of pretenders. You got a lot of guys who like to talk. Got a lot of guys who like to say they're dogs. But when it's time to come and show it, when it's time to come perform on the football field, when it's time to hit a guy in the face, they don't do it. Jeffery Simmons will. My trade idea for him, you've seen this before. 3rd round pick, straight up. 3rd rounder, give us Jeffery Simmons. I'd make that trade any day of the week. Would you? If you would, type A for accept in the comment section down below. And if you wouldn't, go ahead, type me D for decline. I want to hear your answer. Jeffery Simmons for a 3rd rounder. What say you? Let me know. Kayvon Thibodeaux is my last possible Ravens trade target. He's an edge rusher with the New York Football Giants. And the reason we're talking about this is because New York is just absolutely spoiled with their defensive line. They've got an embarrassment of riches. So much so that the best rookie edge rusher and maybe the best rookie player, Abdul Carter, is a bench player because he's behind Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeaux. Oh, and then they also have one of the best interior defensive linemen and Dexter Lawrence. And they're not going to extend him. That's the thing. This is the final year of his rookie contract. I think they've got too much money to pay to guys like Brian Burns. I think they're going to choose Burns over Kayvon Thibodeaux any day of the week. And so they could be looking like, hey, if he's just going to be a free agent in off seasons to come, because I can't remember right now if they've picked up his 5th-year option or not, regardless. He's going to be free agent at some point. Might as well trade him away and get some type of assets for him instead of letting him just walk and getting a comp pick. At this point, if you're Baltimore, you just need bodies. You just need players. You just need athletes. You need guys that you can have confidence in that will get to the passer. And I believe that Kayvon Thibodeaux is that guy. I truly believe that, okay? He's had a pretty solid year so far. He's got 2.5 sacks, more than one Odafe Oweh had. He has 4 times the tackles for loss. That's right. Odafe Oweh only had 1. Last year, 5.5 sacks in 12 games. The year before that, 11.5 sacks, 50 tackles, 12 tackles for loss in 17 games played. I would really love Kayvon Thibodeaux on this football team. Pick one to trade for down below in the comment section. If you want Max, type MC. If you want Jeffery Simmons, type JS. And if you want Kayvon Thibodeaux, go ahead and type a KT for me in the comment section down below. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you got me followed on social media, Twitter, Instagram. I'm everywhere. Put those links in the comment section and description of today's video. And if you're not subscribed, make sure that changes right now.